So in this video I'll be talking about my visual setup, all the mods I use, and I don't use any EMB or anything like that, so this is quite a performance friendly setup. It looks very realistic and very nice, and yeah, well, I wouldn't be making a video about it if I wasn't very proud of it. And this is from playing the game for months, actually now years, and finally discovering the perfect visual setup that I'm very happy with. The only thing that really causes the performance loss is the textures, which of course are optional. So anyway, we'll jump straight into the video. So the main texture pack I use, as you might have noticed, is Skyrim HD 2K textures. Although I don't use the 2K version, I use the 1K, because there's literally no difference. If you look at a comparison between 1K and 2K on 1080p resolution, which most people play at, you just can't tell the difference. So there's just no point of overloading your computer and just putting high quality textures that you literally just don't need. So that's why I use 1K. And I don't use every module. I don't use the towns module because I get enough lag in towns anyway. I'm usually about 30 frames per second in towns, and so I usually use the landscape and the miscellaneous modules. I don't use any of the other ones. And now for all my armors and weapons, I use all of the Amedian-born textures. These are by far the best in my opinion. I haven't done any comparisons on them yet actually, which is something I might do in the future. But to me, the Amedian-born textures are all superior. I use them basically for everything. Every armor and weapon that's supported I use. I also use lots of different textures if I see something on the Nexus site that I like for example there's one mod that's 1K firewood, completely useless really, but you know, I just like to add things like that, so I add those. So I have lots of little mods like HQ, Skyrim map, and lots of other stuff that it's not really worth mentioning because I can't even remember the amount of mods I have like that. For water textures I use Pure Waters, which is by far my favourite, and a lot of people's favourites actually. I did a comparison of Realistic Water 2, which I used for a while, but I always went back to Pure Waters because it's lightweight, doesn't cause any performance loss, and just looks incredible. And finally, the last mod I use is SMIM, which is a Static Mesh Improvement mod. Now this basically improves all the static meshes in the game, and improves a lot of bugs you get with clothing and other stuff like that. It's absolutely huge. I use that as well. I use everything on light. I try to conserve as much performance as possible. And yeah, that's basically all that I use for textures and meshes. So the main mod I'm using for interior lighting is Realistic Lighting Overhaul. It's a mod I've been using the longest. I've probably been using it since I started playing the game, since I heard so much about it from other people, and basically it just makes everything darker and light sources a lot more light, which is how it should be really. It just does exactly what it says on the tin. Now there is another mod you could use called ELFX, and if you can't decide which one to use, of course I've done a comparison video which will be linked right here, so if you want to watch that, I do have a verdict at the end deciding why I chose RLO. And the main reason is because of performance on my system personally, so for you might not have that performance hit at all, so you might want to use ELFX. Although to be honest, I've grown to really like RLO now and I do enjoy it a lot more. So the weather mod I'm using is Climates of Tamriel. And most people use this and have been using it for a long time. It's been out since the beginning, and yeah, well basically it's just completely overhauls the weather, makes it a lot more realistic, makes it snow, makes it rain, lots of things that the vanilla game doesn't do very well, and just enhances it a lot. It's great to use this mod along with other mods like Frostfall, which is the one where you die from the cold, and lots of other mods because you do get colder weather more often and so on, and it just adds to the realism a lot. And these are on my essential list. I would never be able to play without these two. They're just absolutely essential to my gameplay. So the final, most essential mod for me is FXAA Post-Process Injector. So this mod basically injects post-processing into the game, so you get things like sharpening, technicolor, and bloom, and lots of other effects that aren't usually in the game, which is absolutely fantastic really. But it comes with presets, which I have done a video on. Again, you can watch it here, it'll be linked right now, just comparing the 4 presets. And the one I chose at the end of the video was preset 4 because it's the most realistic looking while still maintaining a lot of sharpness. As you can see now, I'll turn off the post-process injector. You can tell immediately there's a massive difference. You can hardly see anything, but when you turn it back on, all the shadows and all the detail is back, all the sharpness, you can see everything perfectly. And it adds a very nice, colourful look to the game that isn't too unrealistic. As soon as you put this mod onto your game, you will never be able to take it off without realising how awful the game looks without it. This is the kind of thing you'll get with ENB, but with no performance loss. Although there is, apparently some people do experience a lot of loss from this, although I gain performance from it. I gain about 2 or 3 frames per second at the top of the steps in Whiterun. No idea how, that's probably just my system. But if you don't use any other mods from this, definitely give this one a try. It doesn't add anything to the load order. It's not installing a mod, basically. It's just adding something to the game through an installer that you download, and it's absolutely great. Just really easy to install and uninstall, and it just makes the game look incredible to me. It's the absolutely perfect alternative to an ENB, which I have no chance of running on my current system. Maybe when I upgrade it over Christmas and next year I might be able to, but I think I'll still be sticking with this, because this just looks great for me. So that's it for this video. Basically that's everything I'll be using in the Let's Play, and setup. If you have a low to mid-range PC, you should probably try out. Like I said at the beginning, the only performance loss I get is from textures, so if you don't even want to use those and you want to get flawless performance, you can still use Realistic Lighting Overhaul, Climate's Tamriel, and FXAA Post-Process Injector. All 3 of those together is absolutely perfect. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully I'll be seeing you at my Let's Play. I'd very much like it if you would go ahead and watch it, because I will be getting a better microphone than the current one I'm using. So don't worry about this horrible mic that you're hearing at the moment. And I'm hoping with the current PC I have, I can upgrade it enough to be able to smoothly run the game and play it and enjoy it. So yeah, I hope you'll be there along for the ride.